They forgot my birthday, but remembered to charge me for a family trip I wasn't invited to. $3,100, your share of lodging and flights. I sent back $1 and the message. Wrong passenger. Then I froze every linked card, blocked all transfers, and sent one email to customer support. Their complaint hit a wall. The platform replied, "Primary account holder authorized the lock." I smiled and logged out. They didn't forget to send me a $3,100 bill for a vacation I wasn't invited to. But they forgot my 40th birthday like it never existed. Not a text. Not a call. Not even some lazy happy birthday in the family group chat. 40 years old. Nothing. 4 decades, and I was worth less than a mass email with a spreadsheet. It landed in my inbox on a Monday morning. Subject line: Final costs for Cancun trip. My brother Nate sent it. He didn't even bother to BCC. I saw every name copied in: Mom, Brittany, her husband, even my cousin Leo, who I hadn't spoken to in years. Attached were PDFs of flight itineraries, villa booking confirmations, restaurant reservations, snorkeling packages. 10 days of sun, tequila, family dinners, and beach photos. They all went. They all knew. No one thought to tell me. Except now they were remembering me. For one reason. At the bottom of Nate's email, in bold: Jackson, your share for accommodation and flights is $3,100. Please send by Friday. No. Hey, sorry you missed it. No. Wish you could have come. Just a total assumption I'd pay my portion, like always. I'd been the family wallet for years. Groceries, rent shortfalls, car repairs, overdraft bailouts. I paid it all because it was easier than the guilt trips, easier than the whining. They got used to my money showing up without having to ask. So when they planned a family trip without me, it didn't even cross their minds that I wouldn't still be the one funding it. I sat there, reading it over and over. The tone was so casual, like it was just a routine transaction. I didn't reply. I opened my banking app, transferred exactly $1 to Mom's account, labeled it contribution, and closed the app. 5 minutes later, Brittany texted me. Just 2 words. Wrong passenger. That was it. That was the moment I knew something had shifted permanently. There was no mistake, no oversight. I hadn't slipped through the cracks. I'd been left out on purpose. But they still wanted the money. I opened every shared account. I froze every card tied to their names. No more grocery deliveries to Mom's house. No more auto payments for Nate's car insurance. Brittany's kids' tablets, cut off. I even shut down the family Hulu subscription. I logged into the master account and wiped every linked device. Then I sent one email to the bank's customer support. Please revoke all shared access and freeze all connected cards. I am the primary account holder. Within the hour, I got a confirmation. All requests have been completed. Linked accounts are disabled. The missed calls started around lunchtime. First Mom. Then Nate. Then Brittany. Then again. Then again. I didn't answer. I let them pile up. One after another. Voicemails too. I didn't listen to a single one. I just sat there, watching the numbers climb, phone vibrating like a broken toy, and smiled for the first time all week. They forgot my birthday. But they remembered the money. Let's see how they do without both. The silence was louder than the usual noise. No requests, no group chat chaos, no Brittany whining about the cost of organic milk or Nate asking if I could spot him till Friday. Nothing. Just dead air. By the 4th day, the absence of their dependency started to feel like fresh air. My phone was quiet for once, not vibrating with some emergency that always, conveniently, ended with my bank routing number. Brittany cracked first. She didn't call. She sent one of those long, performative voice notes. I didn't listen to it. I just watched the little waveform bounce as I deleted it. 10 minutes later, the text came in. We didn't think you'd want to come. It was so last minute. We thought you were busy, you're always working. No apology. Just excuses shaped to sound like compassion. Then, it was just a trip. That one made me laugh. 10 days in Cancun, 2 beachfront villas, catered dinners, a private boat day, and somehow, I wasn't worth a text. I wasn't worth a head count. But I was expected to pay. Again. I didn't answer. I didn't block anyone either. I wanted them to feel the read receipts. The silence was part of the reply. A few days passed before Nate tried. He didn't bother with fake pleasantries. He sent a screenshot of his suspended gym membership. Then just, "Was that you?" I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Mom called 6 times in one afternoon. No voicemail. Just rapid-fire calls like I'd broken something sacred. Like I was the problem now. As if they hadn't chosen to leave me out. As if this wasn't the result of years of using me like a debit card that never declined. That night, I got a grocery delivery notification, but it wasn't to my place. It was to Mom's. She placed the usual order using the frozen card. It was declined. The whole order. Cancelled at checkout. An hour later, she showed up at my door. I watched her through the peephole. She looked confused, like she couldn't process that her keycard didn't work, that the magic lifeline had been cut. She rang the bell twice and stood there with one of those reusable shopping bags like she was the victim. I didn't answer. After 10 minutes, she left. No note. No text. Just silence again. That night, I changed every password. Streaming platforms, shared bills, insurance portals. The family calendar we all used, I deleted it. I renamed all the profiles on Netflix. One said, "You forgot my birthday." Another said, "Wrong passenger." My own profile I renamed to, "Not my family." I wasn't being dramatic. I was done. On Wednesday, Nate sent me an email. The subject line was, "We need to talk." I didn't open it. I archived it like junk mail. I booked myself a 3-day weekend. First-class ticket, no one else's name on the reservation, oceanfront room in Miami. I paid up front. Spa credit included. I used to think traveling alone was sad. Now I realize what's sad is spending thousands so your family can make memories without you, and then they send you the bill. Let them feel the shift. Let them scramble. This wasn't just a quiet phase. It was the end of the arrangement. I wasn't their safety net anymore. They took me for granted. Now they'd learn what that actually costs. The guilt didn't last long. Once they realized I wasn't going to quietly slip back into my role as the walking ATM, the tone shifted fast. The group chat buzzed to life on a Thursday morning. Nate was the first to snap. "You're really doing all this over one trip? Grow up." Not "sorry we forgot your birthday," not "we should have told you about the trip." Just straight to blame. Classic Nate. Always skipping the part where he owns anything. Brittany followed up 10 minutes later. "You're acting like a child. This family has always had each other's backs. You're breaking that." I didn't answer. I didn't need to. They'd gone quiet for a week trying to play innocent, but now that the groceries weren't showing up, the Hulu account was gone, and their bills weren't being mysteriously covered, they were getting bold. Then Mom sent her message. "I'm shocked you'd let your own mother go without her medication." There it was. The final move in the playbook. Guilt, flipped and aimed right at me. As if I was the one who changed. As if they hadn't excluded me from a family trip and invested me after like it was business as usual. As if I hadn't spent years bailing them out quietly, covering bills they didn't even thank me for. What they didn't know was I'd already gone into the insurance portal and removed Mom from my health plan. She'd been on it since I got promoted. Never paid a cent for prescriptions or checkups. I'd handled it all in silence. It took 2 clicks to end that. I didn't feel anything when I did it. No second guessing. No emotional tug. Then Brittany sent a voice note. I didn't open it, but the preview line read, "It's always about money with you." That's what made me write back. One message. One time. "You all forgot my 40th birthday." Not a text. Not a call. Nothing. But you remembered me when it came time to split a $3,100 bill for a vacation I didn't even know existed. I'm not mad. I'm done. Go find someone else to fund your lives. Then I left the group chat. No dramatic exit. Just gone. An hour later, my receptionist called me to the front desk. Brittany was in the lobby. She didn't make an appointment. Just showed up, said she needed to see me. I told reception to tell her I wasn't in the building. I watched on the security feed as she sat there for 45 minutes, texting furiously. Then she left, practically slamming the front door behind her. When I got home, my email was full. Brittany. Nate. Leo. Even my cousin Dan, who hasn't reached out to me in 4 years, was suddenly in my inbox with a subject line. Can we talk? Leo's was the worst. Bro, mom's freaking out. Her meds didn't come. You cut off her plan? Seriously? I archived every message. Then I went back to the shared accounts, the ones I hadn't touched yet. I found Brittany's Amazon Prime address under my account. Removed it. Found Nate's gym membership buried in a recurring expense, cancelled. Dan's Apple Music family plan, gone. They thought it was about the birthday. That I was being petty, or emotional. But it wasn't that. That just helped me see clearly. This wasn't revenge. It was math. For years I gave. Every month. Thousands of dollars. No thank yous. No hesitation asking for more. No understanding that I was giving up parts of my own life to carry them. And when they thought I had nothing they needed, no trip ticket, no +1, they didn't even remember to say happy birthday. So now they don't get the money. Or the access. Or me. And for the first time in years, that feels like a win. 2 weeks after I cut them off, the begging shifted to threats. At first, they tried fake concern. Emails from Nate with subject lines like, "Let's be reasonable." As if he hadn't billed me for a vacation I never got invited to. He attached some spreadsheet titled, "Household Contributions," like a tax auditor preparing for court. It listed everything I used to pay for: groceries, phone plans, mom's prescriptions, Brittany's utility bills, even holiday gifts they gave each other but charged to me. At the bottom, he had the nerve to write, "We were a team, and now you're abandoning us." I didn't reply. Then Brittany started posting thinly veiled barbs on social media. Stuff like, "Some people only care about money until they die alone." Or my personal favorite, "Cutting off your family is easy when you never really had one." Dramatic, considering I once paid off her student loan interest because she said the stress was making her lose hair. But the real turn came when Nate called me at work. I didn't pick up, but he left a voicemail that didn't sound like a brother anymore. It sounded like a warning. "You think you're punishing us? You're screwing yourself, Jackson. You forget how much we know. About everything." That part made me stop. He didn't elaborate, but the implication was clear. Secrets. Personal things. Whatever dirt he thought he had. I sat at my desk, phone in hand, heartbeat calm. I wasn't scared. I was disappointed. They had really gone there. So I forwarded the voicemail to my lawyer. Not because I was worried legally, but because I wanted it documented. Then I made one more call. Not to Nate, not to Brittany. I called my company's internal compliance officer. See, what Nate didn't realize is that I was still listed as the manager of the shared family cloud account. The same one they used to store everything: insurance claims, scanned documents, even Brittany's attempt at applying for pandemic relief under mom's name. I downloaded it all. Sorted it. Kept what mattered. Deleted what didn't. I didn't say a word to them. But the next day, Nate got a call from his bank. One of his side hustles, consulting work, that he tried to pass off as legit, had flagged for suspicious activity tied to an old joint account I had once co-signed on when he begged me to help him build credit. He called me, frantic. I didn't answer. He texted, "What did you do?" I replied with a screenshot of the voicemail he left me. Just that. Then, "I don't get threatened. Ever." After that, silence again. 2 days later, Brittany tried her own version. She messaged a mutual friend of ours from college, some vague sob story about how I wasn't well, and how she was really concerned for my mental state. She must have thought it wouldn't get back to me. It did. That same night, I sent her a one-line message. "Call your landlord." I had been co-signer on her apartment lease for the past 2 years. She never qualified on her own. I called the property manager, submitted the paperwork to remove my name, and let them know she'd now be solely responsible. 3 days to requalify. Or she'd need to vacate. She messaged me in a panic. I didn't open it. I didn't care what she said anymore. They weren't used to this version of me. Quiet. Calculated. Unshakable. They expected a fight. Emotion. Some kind of guilt. But I wasn't hurt anymore. I was done. And without me, their structure was crumbling faster than they could plug the holes. The funny thing about being the one who holds everything together is this: when you stop, they don't know who to be. Let them figure it out. Week 3 is when they stopped pretending. The masks fell, one by one. I could almost track the collapse in real time, like watching a poorly built house finally realize it was missing a foundation. Nate was first to buckle. I didn't even have to do anything. The old joint account, the one he begged me to co-sign on, just to build credit, got flagged by his employer's compliance department. Turns out, running side consulting invoices through it looked a little too much like laundering. Especially when the name tied to the account was mine. I had already pulled my name off that account. What Nate didn't know was that I'd also sent a flagged voicemail he left me, the one where he implied he knew things, to their HR ethics line. He lost his company card by Friday. Then came Brittany. Her lease renewal hit like a brick. Without me as co-signer, the rent jumped under the new terms. And when the leasing office demanded updated proof of income, she couldn't produce even half of it. She tried to talk her way out of it, said her guarantor was traveling. They didn't buy it. She had 10 days to vacate or requalify. On Monday, I got a voicemail. Brittany, through gritted teeth. I hope you know Mom is sick over this. You're turning your back on your own family. It's sick. No mention of my birthday. No mention of the vacation. No mention of the fact that, 2 months ago, I paid her vet bill when her dog swallowed part of a phone charger. Just outrage. Because her lifeline stopped existing. Mom tried a softer route. She texted daily now, like clockwork. I know you're still upset. Let's sit down. We need to fix this. You've made your point. Can we move forward? Then, a few days later, a letter arrived. Actual handwriting. A rare moment of effort, or at least the appearance of it. It was dressed up like an apology, but it wasn't. She called what happened a misunderstanding. She said I'd isolated myself. That life is too short to hold grudges. And that I needed to come home. The kicker was at the end. This isn't just about us anymore. Without your support, things are falling apart. We need you. We always have. I stared at that last sentence for a while. Not because it hit hard. But because it was so honest, and she didn't even realize it. She wasn't asking me to come back for love. She was asking because the system broke when I stepped out. So I responded. I sent the letter back in a new envelope. No return address. I included a sticky note. You needed me. I needed a family. Looks like we both ran out. 2 days later, they came to my door. All 3 of them. Nate, Brittany, and Mom. Middle of the day, like this was some sort of intervention. Brittany looked like she hadn't slept. Nate had that fake composed expression he always wore when he didn't know what to say. Mom held a small gift bag. Probably filled with a gilt card and stale cookies. They rang the bell once. Then again. I didn't move. They buzzed the building intercom, waited, then tried again. I stood behind the blinds, watching them argue among themselves. Brittany gesturing. Nate pacing. Mom silent. After 15 minutes, they gave up. I kept standing there, even after they were gone, just to feel what it was like to watch the people who used to control my peace walk away empty-handed. That was the moment I realized something. They don't love me. They love access to me. Now that access is revoked, they don't know who to be. And that's not my problem anymore. A month after it all started, the visits stopped. The texts slowed to a trickle. No more surprise voicemails, no more Brittany at my office or Mom outside my building. It was like they all agreed to take a step back, but not because they understood. They were regrouping. I knew the silence wouldn't last. Then, on a quiet Tuesday, I got a message from Brittany. Just a photo. It was a shot of Mom sitting on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, holding an envelope. Below it, a caption. She still checks the mailbox for your birthday card. That was supposed to sting. Like I'd be guilted into regretting something I didn't cause. I stared at the message, then archived it without replying. That Friday, Nate emailed me. Short. Cold. Groceries have been a real problem for Mom. She's eating once a day. We're trying, but this isn't sustainable. Think about what you're doing. I did think about it. I thought about all the years I kept the fridge full, the bills paid, the lights on, not just in their homes, but in their lives. Quietly, without asking for anything. Not even recognition. And when I needed something, just once, they gave me silence. So I reminded them. I printed a birthday card. Same gold foiled 40, as the one Mom left under my door. Inside I wrote, "Happy birthday to me. You forgot. I didn't." Then I had it delivered. Not through the regular mail. Couriered. Signature required. Delivered to their apartment doorstep at 7 a.m. on a Sunday. I waited. At 9:14 a.m., Brittany called. I didn't pick up. At 9:16, Nate. 9:22, Mom. Voicemail. I didn't listen. Just deleted them all one by one. By Monday, the game changed again. They didn't threaten. They didn't beg. They started showing up at places I used to go. My gym. The little Italian cafe I liked. Brittany even joined a networking group I was in on LinkedIn, like that would force proximity. It didn't. Then they tried the final move, forgiveness. Or at least, their version of it. Nate wrote. We've all made mistakes. What matters is that we come back together. Let's move on, start fresh. You belong with us. Mom texted a photo of the family from 2 years ago, all of us sitting at a picnic table, smiling. I remember that day. I paid for everything, including the Uber Brittany took to get there after refusing to drive. I replied to none of it. Then came the unexpected part. Brittany texted me again, and this time, she said what they were all thinking. You can't just cut us off forever. That's not how family works. And I realized then, they truly believed that. That no matter how much they took, how little they gave, I'd always come back. Because I was family. Because they'd raised me to believe obligation was love. But obligation ends when the contract breaks. And they broke it. So I answered, for the last time. Family remembers birthdays. Family doesn't send invoices for trips they didn't invite you to. You don't want me. You want my money. That's not family. That's a subscription. And it's been cancelled. I blocked them all. And no more contact. No more explanations. No more windows left open for redemption. They'll talk. To each other, to anyone who will listen. They'll paint me as cold, selfish, changed. And maybe I am changed. But I'm also free. They forgot my birthday. I'll make sure they remember the consequences for the rest of their lives. Epilogue. It had been 5 quiet months. No messages. No surprise visits. No calls. I started to believe it was really over. Then, I got an envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside, a wedding invitation. Leo. I hadn't heard from him since he texted about Mom's prescription fiasco. And now, suddenly, he was getting married and inviting me? It was formal, printed on thick cream cardstock with cursive lettering. I half expected to find a bill tucked behind it. I flipped it over. On the back in ink. Everyone will be there. Thought you might want to be, too. You're still family. That word again. Still family. I stared at the invitation for a long time. I wasn't angry. I was curious. What did they think would happen? That I'd show up in a suit, hug them like nothing happened, take pictures, maybe foot the bar tab again? I kept the card, but didn't RSVP. 2 weeks later, I got another envelope. This one was from a law firm. It was about Mom. She had quietly tried to list me as a financial dependent on her new insurance application. The paperwork was denied, flagged, and now there was a form asking me to verify I had no financial responsibility over her medical expenses. She was trying to tie herself back to me, on paper. I signed the form. Not responsible. No relationship. No dependency. Not because I was cruel. Because I had to. I sent it off and waited. The next morning, I checked my email. There it was. A GoFundMe link. Started by Brittany. Help our mom. Unexpected health crisis. I clicked. Scanned the page. No mention of me. But in the comment section, under a sea of sympathy, someone wrote, "Isn't this the son that used to support all of them? What happened?" No one answered. I closed the tab and went back to work. I'd always expected them to beg, to blame, even to smear. But I never expected this. That one day, they need me more than ever, and I'd feel nothing. No anger. No pity. Just peace. Because this time, the silence was mine.
你们知道为什么我最近没有开播吗？因为我还没有学到新歌，所以我不敢开播。可是我最近有学了一首非常流行的，你们知道是什么歌的了哈？2个字。我可以先清唱几句吗？可以啊。 哦，这是我刚刚去拍了造型的。